r/askreddit, what's the most disturbing Disney movie theory? Cars has a Cars Pope. Christianity is canon in the Cars universe. This meaning there was also a Cars Jesus who suffered a Cars crucifixion. Furthermore, the Jeep character is actually canonized as a WW2 veteran. There was a Cars WW2, this meaning there was also a Cars Hitler who killed scores of presumably Jewish cars. Gaston was responsible for single-handedly uprooting the egg industry of southern France based on the amount of eggs he consumed, and his death caused a minor economic depression. I think Scar would have definitely mated with Cerebi and Nala. Think about it. Simba was gone for like 3 years. In lion prides, the lead male would breed with multiple lionesses to make sure his line is intact. Cerebi was the previous queen and Nala a prime choice as a young female. Scar for sure had ample opportunity to continue his line. Was Nala Simba's half-sister? That Toy Story 3 is an allegory for the Holocaust. The what now? That was the one with the bear called Leader, right? Set in a daycare? Yeah, seemed more like Jonestown to me, but I could see a fascist undertone to him, sure. Bambi's mom wasn't just killed by a hunter. She was killed by a poacher. There's a hunting scene right before winter where the whole family escapes. That was hunting season. You don't hear a single gunshot during the winter because it's off-season. Bambi's mom was killed in early spring by a poacher. By Gaston. If there was a sentient toilet in Beauty and the Beast. The merchant at the beginning of Aladdin is just making up the story, as he is just trying to sell you a lamp, which is crazy because the Dead Sea Tupperware was a better deal. Was it voiced with a German accent in any of the screen adaptation? That at the end of Snow White, she's visited by Death, the prince, and that's why the dwarves can't follow her. The castle is actually heaven. Snow White actually died and Prince Florian is the angel of death. In the end they ride off on his pale horse to a castle into the sky. That's why the dwarves can't come with her. His name is Florian. Disney made Frozen because they wanted to cover up people searching Disney Frozen to find Walt Disney's cryogenically frozen body. Offset theory, not fact. Nah. It was because of Tangled. Previously the names were based on either the character or the fairy tale it was based on. When they were trying to name the Rapunzel movie, they found out they could make more money if the woman's name wasn't on in. That's why after that it was Tangled, Frozen, Brave, etc. Then with Moana the trend changed again. It's all about money for Disney. Sibling lions that are both male will share the breeding rights within the prides they take over. This means both Mufasa and Scar had access to the mothers in the pride. That means there is a non-zero chance that Scar is possibly the father of Simba and or Nala. Maybe Scar is so pissed off at Mufasa and wants him dead because Mufasa doesn't share the ladies. In the new Cruella movie, they put the Dalmatians in the movie matting by the end and then she gifts one dog to Anita and Roger. Whoever had that brilliant idea completely forgot or didn't watch the originals to know/remember that the reason why Anita and Roger got together was because their dogs got together and they ended up together too. Then they got the puppies and the whole 101 puppies. They just make the whole child movie into a huge incest in animal form. Isn't there a theory that the merchant is actually Genie? Both are voiced by Robin Williams, and he's retelling the story and the lamp was his? Woody is Andy's father's old toy and it's the only thing he has to remember him. Wow. This one seems dark and makes Toy Story 3 hurt the more. A similar one I've heard is that Andy's father had Woody at the same age and then put him away, and when Andy pulls him out he's the same age his father was, so Woody doesn't know it's a different person. Pluto and Goofy are both dogs, so there's a theory that says that they both the equivalent of people in their worlds, but Pluto has some mental deficiencies almost like Down syndrome that Goofy is taking advantage of. It's also possible that they appear the same to us but are different species, like how chimps and humans look quite similar but have vastly different mental capacities. The humans on the ship in WALL-E are cannibals. Passenger count, unchanged. What's the logic on this one? They have advanced robots catering to their every whim, from exploration to waste disposal. It's not strange to think they have some sort of algae or mold farms. It's not a stretch to assume that they had some sort of automated agriculture even if it was just vats of genetically altered bacteria/algae. Soylent Green are people. It farts. Team Iceland was picked because if they did Canada vs USA Mighty Ducks 2 would be a bust. The director said he chose Iceland because he was tired of the typical bad guy countries like Russia and wanted a country that's never shown as bad. Aladdin set in a post-apocalyptic future. Like, thousands of years after a nuke war, that's why there's advanced tech and magic, and the genie knows all those pop culture references. I think the reason the genie knows those pop culture references is by either having the ability to look into the future or the ability to break the fourth wall. I mean, he's basically Doctor Strange, Dr. Manhattan, and Mr. MXYZPTLK combined. That Jar Jar Binks is actually Sith and his clumsiness is all just a clever ploy to cause mayhem for the Jedi? What, like he's some kind of phantom menace or something? I believe Darth Jar Jar was the initial plan. He's got Sith eyes FFS. How young the Disney princesses canonically are. Ariel is 16, Jasmine is 15, Snow White is 14. Emperor Kazuko was a teenager too. It's okay. All they did was kiss and hold hands until they were of legal age. Belle did not know the Beast was a human, and that never sits well with me. Lilo is responsible for her parents' death because she failed to bring Pudge the fish a sandwich. Why, though? The Beast is sentient and capable of giving consent. Belle might be a hardcore furry, but that doesn't make her a monster. Beast was way hotter than Prince Adam. It's technically Disney Pixar, but a popular theory states that Boo from Monsters University traveled back in time through the monsters' doors, which are actually time portals. She went back to the time of Brave and became the Old Witch. Evidence being a carved etching of Sully in the Witch Hut, in addition to the overall sense it makes with the Pixar theory. Yeah, but she ends up being okay because Boo eventually shows up in Toy Story 4 kindergarten class. Also, Boo's real name is Mary. I like the one Bing Bong actually is a repentant dark suppressed memory of Riley's. My Bing Bong theory is a nice one. He popped up in Riley's dream to say hi, and so even though NGT, he disappears, and LT, he's still in her subconscious. Probably that somebody inserted a frame of a woman flashing her tits in that one movie. The Rescuers. It's barely visible. I don't know if it's disturbing, but I've always thought it's weird that in Beauty and the Beast, Belle's dad is obsessed with inventing things, but he doesn't have a single invention in the entire house. Like, what's the point of being an inventor if you don't have any inventions? It's like if I said I'm a painter, but I don't own any paintbrushes. Belle is fine and into bestiality. She was fully ready and willing to bang Beast as is when she had no idea he could turn into a human. It's not exactly dark, but on the topic of making people emotional about that movie, Nanny's room had surfing trophies. She gave up going pro so that she could take care of her sister. The characters of Winnie the Pooh all represent a mental disorder. Pooh, compulsive eating disorder. Tigger, ADHD. Eeyore, major depressive disorder. Piglet, generalized anxiety disorder. Owl, narcissistic personality disorder. Rabbit, OCD. Kanga, social anxiety. Roo, autism. Christopher Robin, schizophrenia, he's hallucinating all of his friends. Gaston shot Bambi's mom. Really? I was betting on that guy from Fox and the Hound. Alice in Wonderland. Alice wandered off and found a bunch of drug users who just kept getting her higher and higher. I heard a theory that Donkey from Shrek is one of the Donkey Kids from Pinocchio. They're doing another live-action adaptation. That is disturbing. Peter Pan is actually a metaphor to Saint Peter, who leads kids' souls to heaven after they die. So Neverland is just the afterlife he took these kids to, which is why there's all the magical things. I guess the pirates are lost souls in purgatory trying to get into heaven. Anna and Elsa's parents sailed away in order to attend Rapunzel and Eugene's wedding in Tangled. On the return trip home, it was Ursula who caused the shipwreck. I think in at least one version of this theory they actually survive by being washed ashore, where the queen eventually gives birth to Tarzan. Frozen 2 kind of kills this theory. This theory is true, at least to Lilo. That's why it's so important her at the beginning of the movie to feed the Pudge. Holy shit, that's dark. Good theory though. Cars takes place long after a war where the sapient machines wiped out their human creators.